My name is Rebecca Martinez, and I'm 29 years old. What happened in my corner office last Tuesday still sends shockwaves through Silicon Valley. Picture this: my sister Ashley standing in my executive suite, tears streaming down her face, begging me to hire her husband after she'd gotten me fired from my previous job just 6 months earlier. The irony? She had no idea that the new startup I'd joined was actually the company I'd secretly founded. The same company that had just acquired her husband's failing business. But here's what nobody expected. When I finally revealed that I wasn't just another employee, but the CEO and founder of a $50 million tech company, her husband didn't just beg for a job. He literally got down on his knees in front of my entire board of directors. The man who had celebrated my firing over family dinner was now pleading for his professional survival. And Ashley? The sister who had sabotaged my career to help her husband climb the corporate ladder. She discovered that revenge is a dish best served with quarterly earnings reports. Before we dive into this story, please take a moment to like and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy stories about turning betrayal into triumph. Where are you watching from? Drop your location and local time in the comments below. Let me take you back to where this all began, to the morning I thought I was just starting another day at Morrison Tech, completely unaware that my own sister was orchestrating my downfall. It was 7:30 a.m. on a crisp October morning when I swiped my badge at Morrison Technologies for what would be the last time. I'd been their senior director of product development for 3 years, leading the team that had increased their revenue by 300%. That morning, I was excited about presenting our new AI integration platform to the board. Rebecca, Conference Room A, now. My manager Tom's voice cut through the office chatter. Something in his tone made my stomach drop. I walked into that conference room expecting to discuss budget allocations. Instead, I found Tom, HR Director Sarah Kim, and 2 security guards. The manila folder on the table looked ominous. "Rebecca," Sarah began, not meeting my eyes, "we're terminating your employment effective immediately." The words hit me like a physical blow. "I'm sorry, what? Is this about the Hendrix project? Because we're ahead of schedule and—" "It's about corporate espionage," Tom interrupted. "We have evidence that you've been sharing proprietary information with competitors." My mind reeled. "That's impossible. I would never—" "Your sister Ashley provided us with emails and documentation showing unauthorized information sharing," Sarah said, sliding the folder toward me. Ashley, my baby sister. The one I'd helped get her marketing job at Wilson Corp. The one I'd co-signed an apartment lease for. The one I'd lent $15,000 to when her husband Marcus started his consulting business. Ashley wouldn't— I started, then stopped. The look on their faces told me everything I needed to know. I opened the folder with trembling hands, email screenshots, supposedly from my account, showing detailed product specifications being sent to Morrison's competitors, meeting schedules I'd allegedly shared, project timelines that had somehow ended up in rival companies' hands. It was sophisticated, professional, and completely fabricated. "These aren't real," I said quietly. "Someone doctored these emails." "Your sister seemed very concerned about the company's welfare when she brought this to our attention," Tom said. "She mentioned you'd been acting strangely, stressed about money, asking questions about competitor strategies." The betrayal cut deeper than the false accusations. Ashley knew exactly what buttons to push, exactly how to make her lies believable. She'd weaponized her knowledge of my personality, my financial stress from helping their family, my dedication to understanding the market. "I want to see these original emails in my account," I demanded. "Your access has been revoked," Sarah said. "Security will escort you to collect your personal items." 20 minutes later, I was standing in the parking lot with a cardboard box containing 3 years of my professional life. My badge had been deactivated, my company car access revoked, my reputation destroyed. That's when I saw her. Ashley standing by her silver Honda Civic in the visitor parking area, watching me through the window. Our eyes met across the asphalt. She looked away first. I walked over and tapped on her window. She rolled it down slowly. "Why?" was all I could manage. "I don't know what you mean," she said, but her voice shook. "Ashley, they just fired me because of false information you provided. Why would you do this to me?" Tears welled in her eyes, but her jaw set with determination. "Marcus needs this more than you do. You'll land on your feet. You always do." Marcus, her husband of 2 years, the man who'd been struggling to get his consulting business off the ground while I'd been the family success story. "So you destroyed my career for his?" "You don't understand," she said, starting her car. "You've always had everything easy. Good grades, good jobs, everyone's respect. Marcus and I are drowning in debt. When he heard about potential openings at Morrison through his network, he knew he'd never get considered with you there being so successful." The pieces clicked into place. He planned this. You both planned this. Morrison's going to hire him as a consultant. They need someone they can trust after what happened with you. She drove away, leaving me standing in that parking lot with my cardboard box and the smoking ruins of my career. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted completely, someone you'd have done anything for, type "betrayed" in the comments below. What comes next is how I turn that betrayal into the foundation of something extraordinary. That night, I sat in my apartment staring at the business plan I'd been working on for months, CloudSync Pro, an AI-powered project management platform that would revolutionize how tech companies handled remote collaboration. I'd been developing it in my spare time, using my Morrison experience to identify market gaps. The plan was to secure funding slowly, maybe launch in a year. But sitting there with my professional reputation in ruins and Ashley's betrayal fresh in my mind, I made a decision that would change everything. I was going to launch CloudSync Pro immediately. And I was going to do it quietly, under a different name, through a subsidiary structure that would keep my identity hidden until the right moment. My savings account had $47,000. Not enough for a proper launch, but enough to get started. I called my college roommate Jessica Chen, who'd become a venture capitalist. "Jess, I need to cash in that favor you owe me." "Rebecca, what's wrong? You sound—" "I got fired today. False accusations?" "Long story, but I'm launching CloudSync Pro next week and I need seed funding." "Next week?" "Rebecca, that's insane. You need market research, team building, legal structure. I have the product. I have the market knowledge. What I need is capital, and someone who believes in me." There was silence on the line. Then, "How much?" $2 million to start." That's a big ask for someone who just lost their job. "Jess, remember sophomore year when you were failing calculus and I tutored you for free for 3 months? Remember junior year when you needed a co-founder for your business plan competition and I helped you win first place?" "I remember." "Trust me one more time. Give me $2 million and I'll give you a company worth $50 million within 2 years. Send me the business plan. I'll have an answer by tomorrow." 24 hours later, Jessica called back. "The money's being transferred, but Rebecca, I'm not just investing in CloudSync Pro. I'm investing in you. Don't make me regret it." "You won't." I registered the company under the name Innova Solutions LLC, with myself listed as R. Martinez, founder and CEO. To the outside world, it looked like any other startup with an anonymous founder. The next 3 months were brutal. 18-hour days, living on coffee and determination. I hired 5 brilliant developers who didn't care about my Morrison history. They only cared about the revolutionary product we were building. Marcus's consulting business, meanwhile, was thriving at Morrison. Through mutual connections, I heard he'd been hired to restructure their product development strategy after the security breach that had led to my firing. The irony wasn't lost on me. Ashley and Marcus bought a new house, posted photos on social media of their upgraded lifestyle, threw parties I wasn't invited to, celebrating their success while I worked 16-hour days in a cramped co-working space. But CloudSync Pro was gaining traction. Beta testing with 3 major companies showed unprecedented efficiency improvements. Our AI algorithms were solving problems that traditional project management software couldn't touch. Then came the breakthrough. TechCrunch wanted to feature us as Startup of the Week, but they wanted to interview the founder. "You can't stay anonymous forever," Jessica warned. "Success has a way of revealing itself." I'm not ready for the tech community to know it's me yet. They'll just focus on the Morrison drama instead of the product. "So what's your plan?" I smiled. "I'm going to let success speak first. When CloudSync Pro becomes undeniable, when we're generating real revenue and solving real problems, then I'll reveal myself. Not before." By month 6, we had 12 major clients and $3 million in recurring revenue. By month 8, we were profitable. By month 10, we were being courted by acquisition offers. That's when everything changed. Marcus's consulting contract with Morrison was ending, and despite his efforts, they weren't renewing. His other business development attempts were failing. Companies were starting to buzz about this mysterious CloudSync Pro that was revolutionizing project management. Through my network, I learned that Marcus was desperately trying to get meetings with CloudSync Pro's leadership team. He'd identified us as a potential client for his consulting services. The beautiful irony? He was trying to sell his services to the company I'd built from the ashes of the career he'd helped destroy. "Rebecca," Jessica said during one of our monthly board meetings, "Marcus Wilson has been calling our offices daily. He's persistent. I'll give him that." "What's he offering?" "Strategic consulting for scaling tech companies. He's claiming expertise in product development transitions and team management." I almost laughed. The same Marcus who couldn't scale his own business without sabotaging his wife's sister? "What do you want to do? We could just ignore him." "No," I said slowly. "I think it's time for a meeting." Are you ready for the moment when the hunter becomes the hunted? When the person who destroyed my career realizes they've been begging for a job from their victim? Hit that like button if you believe in poetic justice, and comment karma if you've ever watched someone face the consequences of their own actions. The meeting was scheduled for Thursday at 2 p.m. in our main conference room. I'd upgraded our office space the month before. Glass walls, modern furniture, the kind of setup that screamed successful startup. Marcus arrived 15 minutes early, wearing his best suit and carrying a leather portfolio. I watched from my office as our receptionist, Maria, offered him coffee and directed him to wait in the conference room. He had no idea I was there, no idea that the CEO he was about to pitch was the sister-in-law he'd helped destroy 6 months earlier at exactly 2 p.m. I walked into that conference room with Jessica and 2 other board members. Marcus looked up from his notes, extended his hand with a confident smile, and said, "Thank you for taking this meeting. I'm Marcus Wilson, and I believe I can help CloudSync Pro reach the next level of—" His words died in his throat. His hand froze mid-extension. The color drained from his face like someone had pulled a plug. "Hello, Marcus," I said calmly, taking a seat at the head of the table. "I understand you have a consulting proposal for us." "Rebecca?" His voice came out as a whisper. "What? What are you doing here?" "I work here," I said simply. "Actually, I founded this company. I'm the CEO you've been trying so desperately to meet." Jessica, who knew the whole story, had to bite her lip to keep from smiling. Our other board members looked confused, but interested. This can't be," Marcus stammered. "CloudSync Pro, the company that's been revolutionizing project management for the past 10 months, the company generating over $3 million in annual recurring revenue, the company you've been calling daily, begging for a meeting with." I paused. That's my company, Marcus. He sank into his chair like someone had cut his strings. Now, I continued, opening my laptop. I believe you wanted to discuss your consulting services. Something about helping tech companies scale? Please, present your proposal. Rebecca, we need to talk privately. This is a business meeting, Marcus. You requested this meeting to pitch your services to CloudSync Pro. My board is here to evaluate your proposal. So please, tell us how you plan to help us grow. His hands were shaking as he opened his portfolio. The confident businessman who'd walked in was completely gone, replaced by someone who looked like he might throw up. My background is in strategic consulting for technology companies. Interesting? I interrupted. Can you give us some specific examples of your success stories? He swallowed hard. I worked with Morrison Technologies on their product development restructuring. Yes, Morrison Technologies. I'm familiar with their recent challenges. Something about a security breach in their product development department, wasn't there? Jessica covered her mouth, pretending to cough. I helped them implement new protocols. Marcus continued weakly. And how did that work out for them? Because from what I understand, they've lost significant market share to more innovative competitors in the past 6 months. It was true. While I'd been building CloudSync Pro, Morrison had struggled to maintain their position. The restructuring Marcus had led had been a disaster. There were external factors. External factors like losing their most experienced product development director right before a major market shift? Marcus's face was now completely white. Rebecca, please. Please what? You came here for a business meeting. I'm trying to understand your qualifications. One of our board members, David Chang, leaned forward. I'm confused. Do you two know each other? Marcus is married to my sister, I said matter-of-factly. He's also the person who orchestrated false espionage accusations that got me fired from my previous position. The room went dead silent. David's eyebrows shot up. Excuse me? 6 months ago, Marcus worked with my sister to provide fabricated evidence to my former employer, claiming I was sharing proprietary information with competitors. The goal was to get me fired so Morrison would hire Marcus as a consultant. That's not, Marcus started. It worked beautifully, I continued. Morrison fired me based on the false evidence Ashley provided. They hired Marcus for a consulting contract, and while Marcus was restructuring their product development strategy, I was building the company that would eventually outpace them in every metric that matters. Jessica finally spoke up. So Marcus, you're pitching consulting services to the CEO whose career you tried to destroy? It wasn't personal, Marcus said desperately. It was just business. I needed the opportunity, and Rebecca always lands on her feet. You're right, I said. I did land on my feet. I landed so well that I built a multi-million-dollar company while you were playing corporate consultant with stolen opportunities. Rebecca, I'm sorry. What we did was wrong, but I'm drowning here. The Morrison contract ended, and I can't find new clients. Ashley and I are behind on our mortgage. We're going to lose the house. The desperation in his voice was palpable, but I felt no satisfaction in it, just a cold sense of justice being served. So you thought you'd come to CloudSync Pro for salvation? I didn't know it was your company. I swear, if I'd known. You wouldn't have requested the meeting? I don't know. Maybe I would have approached it differently. How differently? He was quiet for a long moment. Then, to my complete shock, he stood up and walked around the table toward me. What are you doing? Jessica asked, alarmed. Marcus dropped to his knees beside my chair. Rebecca, I'm begging you. Hire me. I'll work for minimum wage. I'll do anything. Ashley and I made a terrible mistake, and we're paying for it. But please don't let my stupidity destroy our lives completely. The sight of him on his knees in my conference room, begging for mercy from the woman he'd tried to destroy, was surreal. My board members stared in stunned silence. "Get up, Marcus," I said quietly. "Not until you promise to consider hiring me." "This is uncomfortable for everyone in the room. Please stand up." He remained on his knees. "I'll work nights, weekends, whatever you need. I'll take any position. I'll work in the mailroom if you have one." David Chang cleared his throat. "Perhaps we should take a break, she—" "No," I said. "Marcus wants to make his pitch. Let him finish." Looking down at this man who had celebrated my professional destruction, who had toasted his success while I worked 18-hour days to rebuild my career, I felt something I hadn't expected. Not satisfaction, not anger, just sadness. "Marcus, do you remember the dinner at Ashley's house last December? Right after you got the Morrison contract?" He nodded miserably, still on his knees. "You made a toast. You said, 'To new opportunities and clearing out the dead weight.' You were talking about my firing. Rebecca?" Ashley laughed. She said, "Rebecca always thinks she's the smartest person in the room. Maybe now she'll learn some humility." "She didn't mean it like that." "What did she mean exactly?" He had no answer. "Stand up, Marcus. This is embarrassing for everyone." He finally got to his feet, but remained standing beside my chair like a defendant awaiting sentencing. "Here's what's going to happen," I said. "CloudSync Pro doesn't need your consulting services. We're profitable, growing, and successful without any help from someone who builds their career on sabotaging others." His face crumbled. "However," I continued, "I'm not entirely heartless. There's a position available in our customer success department. Entry level, $35,000 a year. You'd be responding to client emails and helping with basic technical support." $35,000? He whispered. "It's honest work, Marcus. More honest than anything you've done in the past year." "But I have an MBA. I've been running strategic consulting." "You've been running a consulting business into the ground while living off the success of destroying someone else's career. This is what's available." Jessica was staring at me like I'd lost my mind. David Chang looked equally confused. "Rebecca," Jessica said carefully, "are you sure about this?" "Marcus," I said, ignoring Jessica's question, "the position requires a background check, professional references, and a character assessment. Given your recent history, I'm not sure you'd pass." "I'll do anything to prove myself." "Would you be willing to publicly acknowledge what you and Ashley did? Write a formal apology to Morrison Technologies explaining that the evidence against me was fabricated?" His face went through several emotions: hope, fear, calculation, desperation. "That would destroy my reputation in the industry." "Your reputation is already destroyed, Marcus. Morrison didn't renew your contract because your restructuring failed. Other companies won't hire you because you have no real successes to point to. You're here begging for a job from someone you tried to destroy. But if I admit to fabricating evidence, you'll be telling the truth. Something novel for you." He was quiet for a full minute, processing his options. "If I do this? If I write the apology? You'll hire me?" "I'll consider it. But Marcus, understand this. You'd be reporting to people half your age with half your experience and twice your integrity. You'd be starting over at the bottom of the ladder you tried to climb by pushing others off." The man who had been so proud of his strategic thinking, his business acumen, his ability to manipulate situations to his advantage, stood there facing the consequences of his choices. "I'll do it," he said finally. "Write the apology first, submit it to Morrison, copy me, and make it public on LinkedIn. After that, we'll discuss whether there's a place for you here." "Rebecca," David Chang interjected, "can we have a word privately?" I nodded. "Marcus, you can show yourself out. Maria at the front desk will give you the email address where you can send your application materials. After Marcus left, David turned to me with concern. Rebecca, I understand this is personal, but hiring someone who sabotaged you seems like a massive risk. David's right, Jessica added. This could backfire spectacularly. You're both right to be concerned, I said. But consider this. Marcus isn't a threat anymore. He's desperate, his reputation is shot, and he has no leverage. If he works out, we get an employee who will never take this job for granted. If he doesn't work out, we fire him just like any other employee. But the drama, the personal history, will stay personal. This is business. Marcus needs a job. We have an entry-level position available, and sometimes the best revenge is succeeding so thoroughly that you can afford to be generous to the people who tried to destroy you. 3 days later, Marcus's public apology appeared on LinkedIn. I want to publicly acknowledge a serious error in judgment regarding my former sister-in-law, Rebecca Martinez. 6 months ago, I provided Morrison Technologies with fabricated evidence suggesting Rebecca was sharing proprietary information with competitors. This was false, and Rebecca was wrongfully terminated based on my deception. Rebecca Martinez is a person of absolute integrity who never compromised Morrison's interests. I take full responsibility for this unethical behavior and sincerely apologize to Rebecca, Morrison Technologies, and the business community. My actions were motivated by selfish career interests and represent the worst of professional conduct. The post went viral in our local tech community. Morrison Technologies released a statement clearing my name and expressing regret for the wrongful termination. 3 companies that had previously rejected my applications based on the Morrison situation reached out with job offers. But I didn't need job offers anymore. I had CloudSync Pro. Marcus started work the following Monday, $35,000 a year, entry-level customer success representative, reporting to a 24-year-old team lead named Sarah, who had been with us for 4 months. The transformation was remarkable and pathetic in equal measure. The man who had once toasted my professional destruction now spent his days responding to basic client emails and doing technical support troubleshooting. How is he doing? I asked Sarah after his first week. Honestly, he's trying really hard. Maybe too hard. He keeps offering strategic insights that nobody asked for, but he's doing the actual work without complaint. Any attitude problems? He seems scared, honestly, like he's walking on eggshells, which, given his history with you, probably makes sense. I didn't interact with Marcus directly for the first month, but I watched. I saw him eating lunch alone in the break room while other employees chatted and laughed. I saw him staying late to make sure his work was perfect. I saw him take on tasks that weren't technically his responsibility. Ashley, meanwhile, had gone completely silent. No social media posts, no family gatherings, no attempts to contact me. Through mutual friends, I heard that she was struggling with the fallout from Marcus's public apology. Her employer had questions about her ethics. Her friends had questions about her character. The house they'd bought with Marcus's Morrison consulting money was on the market. If you've ever watched someone face the real consequences of their choices, comment consequences below. But what happened next surprised even me, because sometimes the people who betray you can become the people who understand your value most. Month 2 brought an unexpected development. Marcus requested a meeting with me. I know I don't deserve your time, he said, sitting across from my desk like a nervous intern. But I wanted to update you on something. Go ahead. 3 of our competitors have reached out to me. They know I used to work for Morrison, and they think I might have inside information about CloudSync Pro that could help them. My blood chilled. And? I told them no. I reported the conversations to Sarah, and she suggested I bring it to you directly. This was a test I hadn't expected to give. The question was whether Marcus would try to rebuild his career by sabotaging me again. What exactly did they want to know? Technical specifications, client lists, pricing strategies, development roadmaps. The kind of information that could help them compete against us more effectively. And you said no. I said hell no. Rebecca, I know you have every reason not to trust me, but I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. I destroyed my integrity once for short-term gain. I won't do it again. How do I know you're telling the truth? He pulled out his phone and played 3 voicemail recordings, competitors offering him consulting contracts in exchange for Cloud Sync Pro intelligence. I've been recording every conversation since the first one called, he said. I wanted proof that I was handling this correctly. The recordings were damning for our competitors and surprisingly reassuring about Marcus's intentions. What do you want me to do with this information? I asked. Whatever you think is best. But Rebecca, I need you to know, I may have started this job because I was desperate, but I'm staying because I believe in what we're building. Cloud Sync Pro is revolutionary. I see the client feedback. I watch how our software solves problems that other platforms can't touch. You built something extraordinary. It was the first genuine compliment he'd ever given me. Marcus, I appreciate you bringing this to my attention. Forward those recordings to Jessica and David. We'll need to discuss how to handle competitors trying to poach intelligence. Already done, he said, standing to leave. Then he paused at the door. Rebecca? Thank you for giving me a chance to prove I'm not completely worthless. After he left, I sat in my office processing what had just happened. Marcus Wilson, the man who had betrayed me for personal gain, had just turned down lucrative opportunities to protect the company I'd built. People change. Sometimes. The 3rd month brought Cloud Sync Pro's biggest milestone yet. We signed a partnership deal with Microsoft that would integrate our AI algorithms into their Office suite. The contract was worth $15 million over 2 years. The celebration party was held at a rooftop venue downtown. The entire team was there, including Marcus, who stood awkwardly by the bar while everyone else mingled and celebrated. He looks miserable, Jessica observed, following my gaze. He should, I replied. 6 months ago, he was celebrating my career destruction. Now he's watching me celebrate a $15 million deal. Are you enjoying this? I considered the question. I thought I would. But honestly, it just feels sad. Sad how? He could have been part of something great from the beginning if he hadn't been so focused on tearing others down to build himself up. David Chang joined our conversation. Rebecca, I have to ask, how long are you planning to keep Marcus around? Why? Because he's actually getting good at the customer success role. Sarah says clients specifically request him now. He's thorough, professional, and he really understands the technical aspects of our platform. You sound surprised. I am surprised. I expected him to be a disaster. Or at least, mediocre. But he's becoming genuinely valuable in that role. I watched Marcus across the room, talking with Sarah and 2 other team members about a client implementation challenge. For the first time since he'd started, he looked relaxed, engaged, like he belonged. David, what if we offered him a promotion? Jessica nearly choked on her drink. A promotion? Senior Customer Success Specialist. Small raise, more responsibility, recognition for the work he's been doing. Rebecca, are you sure about this? 3 months ago, this man tried to destroy your career. 3 months ago, I was unemployed and angry. Now I'm the CEO of a $15 million company. I can afford to be generous. The promotion announcement the following week surprised everyone, especially Marcus. I called him into my office to deliver the news personally. Senior Customer Success Specialist, effective immediately, $15,000 raise, expanded responsibilities, and you'll be training new customer success hires. He stared at me like I'd spoken in a foreign language. I don't understand. Your performance has been excellent. Sarah speaks highly of your work. Clients request you specifically. You've earned this promotion. But Rebecca, after everything I did. Marcus, what you did was wrong. But what you've done since then, turning down competitor offers, excelling at your job, proving your reliability, that matters too. I don't deserve this. Maybe not. But deserve and earn are different things. You've earned this promotion through your work. He was quiet for a long moment, processing. Does Ashley know about any of this? The company? My job here? The promotion? I haven't spoken to Ashley since the day I got fired. What you tell her is your business. She's been asking questions about my new job, where I'm working. I've been vague. Why? Because I'm ashamed? Not of working here. I'm proud of working here. But ashamed of how I got here, of what I did to you. Ashley keeps talking about how you probably ended up in some dead-end job after Morrison, and I can't bring myself to tell her the truth. Which is that you built something incredible while we were busy destroying ourselves, that you're more successful now than you ever were at Morrison, that I'm lucky to work for you, even in an entry-level position. It was the most honest thing he'd ever said to me. Marcus, what you tell Ashley is between you two. But understand this. I built CloudSync Pro to prove that success comes from creating value, not from destroying others. Every day you work here and do good work, you're proving the same thing. A week later, Ashley showed up at our office. I was in a board meeting when Maria, our receptionist, knocked on the conference room door. Rebecca, there's an Ashley Wilson here to see you. She says she's your sister. Through the conference room's glass walls, I could see Ashley in our lobby, looking around with wide eyes at the sleek furniture, the wall of awards, the team of people working at their standing desks. Tell her I'll be with her in 10 minutes, I said. Ashley was studying our company timeline on the lobby wall when I emerged from the meeting. Photos from our founding, our first major client signing, our Microsoft partnership announcement. Hello, Ashley. She turned, and I was shocked by how different she looked. Thinner, tired, like she'd aged years in the past 10 months. Rebecca. Her voice was barely a whisper. I need to talk to you. We can use the small conference room. I led her to our private meeting space, closing the door behind us. Is it true? She asked without preamble. Is what true? This company. Marcus said you founded it. That you're the CEO. Yes. The timeline on the wall says CloudSync Pro was founded 7 months ago. That's correct. A month after Morrison fired you. Yes. She sank into a chair like someone had cut her strings. $15 million. The Microsoft partnership. I saw the press release. Ashley, why are you here? To apologize, she said, tears starting to flow. To beg your forgiveness. To try to explain why I did something so horrible to someone I love. Go ahead. Marcus was drowning. His business was failing, we were behind on everything, and I was terrified we'd lose our house, our future. When he heard about potential openings at Morrison, he became obsessed with getting hired there. So you decided to get me fired. It wasn't supposed to destroy your career. Marcus said you'd find something else quickly, that you always land on your feet. We thought it would just be a temporary setback for you and a lifeline for us. You fabricated evidence of corporate espionage, Ashley. That's not a temporary setback. That's career destruction. I know that now. I knew it then, deep down, but I was desperate and I let Marcus convince me it would all work out. How did it work out? She wiped her eyes with a tissue. Terribly. Marcus's consulting failed. Morrison didn't renew his contract. No one else would hire him. We lost the house. We're living in a 2-bedroom apartment now, and I work 2 part-time jobs to make ends meet. And Marcus works here. In customer service, making $35,000 a year. Do you know what that did to his ego? To mine? The man I destroyed my sister's career for ended up begging that sister for a minimum wage job. It's not minimum wage, and he got a promotion last week. He told me, Senior Customer Success Specialist. He also told me he's happy here. Happier than he's been in years. Do you know how that makes me feel? How? Like I destroyed our family for nothing. Like I chose the wrong side in a battle that didn't need to happen. I studied my sister's face. The arrogance was gone. The entitlement was gone. What remained looked like genuine remorse. Ashley, what do you want from me? Forgiveness. A chance to rebuild our relationship. And a job. A job? I know it's insane to ask. I know I don't have the right. But Rebecca, I'm a good marketer. I have 5 years of experience, a college degree, and I understand your industry now better than I ever wanted to. The audacity was breathtaking, but looking at her, I didn't see the scheming sister who had betrayed me. I saw someone who had made terrible choices and was genuinely trying to make amends. Ashley, even if I wanted to hire you, which I'm not saying I do, how would that work? You'd be working with Marcus in the same company for the sister you both tried to destroy. It would be awkward as hell, she admitted. But Rebecca, Marcus talks about CloudSync Pro constantly, about how innovative the platform is, how smart the team is, how much he respects you as a leader. He's proud to work here, even in an entry-level role. What makes you think you'd fit in here? Because I've learned something in the past year. Success isn't about tearing other people down. It's about building something valuable. You built something incredible while Marcus and I were busy destroying ourselves. I want to be part of building instead of tearing down. The marketing team has openings, I said slowly. But Ashley, I need to be clear about something. This isn't family charity. This is business. You'd be interviewed by my marketing director. You'd have to prove your qualifications, and you'd be held to the same standards as every other employee. I understand. And if you can't handle reporting to people who know what you did to me, if you can't handle the gossip or the sideways looks, or the fact that some people here will never trust you, then this won't work. I can handle it. Can you handle working with Marcus in the same building every day, knowing that your marriage counseling is going to be influenced by your work dynamics? She looked surprised. How did you know about the counseling? Marcus mentioned it. He said you're both working on rebuilding trust after what happened. We are. And honestly, maybe working together to rebuild our careers and our reputations would help us rebuild our marriage too. I looked at this woman who had been my baby sister, my betrayer, and now my supplicant. Life had humbled her in ways I never could have imagined. Set up an interview with Katie Morrison, our marketing director. If she thinks you're qualified and a good fit for the team culture, we'll consider it. Rebecca, But Ashley, I interrupted, understand this. I'm not hiring you to fix our relationship or to help your marriage or to make your financial problems go away. I'm considering hiring you because CloudSync Pro needs good marketers, and if you're truly qualified and committed, you might be one. I understand. Do you? Because in this building, I'm not your sister who owes you anything. I'm your CEO who expects excellence. Yes. And if you ever do anything to undermine this company or its interests, I'll fire you so fast it'll make your head spin. Family or no family. I wouldn't. I swear, Rebecca, I learned my lesson. 2 weeks later, Ashley joined CloudSync Pro as a marketing specialist. Katie Morrison said she was the most prepared and motivated candidate they'd interviewed in months. Watching Marcus and Ashley navigate working in the same building was fascinating and occasionally awkward. They ate lunch together but sat with other team members. They collaborated on projects but maintained professional boundaries. They both worked harder than anyone else, like they were constantly trying to prove they deserved to be there. 6 months later, CloudSync Pro hit $10 million in annual recurring revenue. We moved to a larger office space with room for 150 employees. Marcus was promoted to Customer Success Manager. Ashley became our lead marketing specialist. At the expansion celebration party, I found myself standing with Jessica, watching Marcus and Ashley laughing with their respective teams. "Do you ever regret it?" Jessica asked. "Regret what?" "Hiring them, keeping them, giving them second chances when most people would have chosen revenge." I thought about the question seriously. "Jess, a year ago I was unemployed and humiliated, betrayed by my own family. Today I'm the CEO of a $10 million company with a team I trust and respect. Marcus and Ashley are part of that team now." That's not an answer. The answer is no, I don't regret it, because holding on to anger would have poisoned everything I built. Choosing growth over grudges, success over spite, that's what turned betrayal into triumph. Even when they see your success every day, when they know they could have been part of it from the beginning if they hadn't tried to destroy you, especially then, because every day they see what's possible when you choose to build instead of tear down. Every day they're reminded that success comes from creating value, not from destroying others. Marcus approached us, looking nervous. "Rebecca, could I have a word?" "Of course." "I wanted to tell you something. Ashley and I have been in counseling, working on our marriage and on understanding why we made such terrible choices." "How's that going?" "Good. Hard, but good. And our counselor helped us realize something. We were so focused on what we didn't have, so resentful of others' success, that we convinced ourselves taking from you was justified. And now? Now we see that you didn't take anything from us. You earned what you had, and when we tried to tear you down, we just tore ourselves down instead." "Marcus, where's this going?" "I want you to know that working here, seeing how you lead, watching you build something incredible, it's changed how I think about success, about competition, about what it means to be valuable." "I'm glad to hear that." Ashley feels the same way. "We both know we don't deserve the chances you've given us, but we're grateful every day for the opportunity to prove we're better than our worst choices." Ashley appeared beside Marcus, having overheard the conversation. "Rebecca," she said, "I know our relationship will never be the same as it was before, but I hope someday it can be something different, something better, something built on respect instead of just family obligation." Looking at them, the man who had sabotaged my career now managing our most important client relationships, the sister who had betrayed me now leading our marketing initiatives, I realized something profound. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destroying your enemies. Sometimes it's succeeding so completely that you can afford to turn your enemies into allies. "Marcus, Ashley," I said, "what happened between us was painful. But what we've built since then, CloudSync Pro, your careers here, the possibility of a real relationship based on mutual respect, that's more valuable than any revenge could have been." As I watched them return to their teams, I thought about the journey from that humiliating day in Morrison's parking lot to this moment of genuine reconciliation and shared success. The sister who got me fired had become one of my most dedicated employees. Her husband, who had orchestrated my professional destruction, had become a valuable team member who protected our company from competitors trying to steal our secrets. And me? I had become someone who could transform betrayal into triumph, who could choose growth over grudges, who could build something so successful that even my enemies wanted to be part of it. If you've ever turned your worst moment into your greatest success, comment transformed below. If you believe that the best revenge is a life well lived, hit that like button. And if you've ever had to choose between anger and growth, let me know in the comments which path you chose. Sometimes family hurts us most because they know exactly where we're vulnerable. But sometimes those same people can become our strongest supporters once they understand what they almost lost. CloudSync Pro is now valued at $50 million. Marcus manages a team of 12 and is being considered for Director of Customer Success. Ashley leads our marketing department and was featured in Marketing Weekly as a rising star under 30. And me? I'm still the CEO who chose to build something extraordinary from the ashes of betrayal. Who learned that success isn't about beating your enemies, it's about succeeding so completely that your enemies want to join you. The penthouse I bought last month has floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the entire city. Sometimes I stand there in the morning with my coffee, looking down at the building where Morrison Technologies used to be their top floor before they downsized. But mostly I look forward, toward the future we're building at CloudSync Pro. A future where success comes from creating value, where redemption is possible, and where family isn't just about blood, it's about choosing to support each other's growth. Your story might be different, but the principle remains. The best revenge isn't destroying your enemies. It's succeeding so completely that you can afford to turn them into allies. Choose growth over grudges. Choose success over spite. Choose to build something so valuable that even the people who tried to tear you down want to be part of it. Thank you for listening to my story. If this resonated with you, if you've ever had to rebuild after betrayal or choose forgiveness over revenge, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe for more stories about turning setbacks into comebacks and choosing triumph over bitterness. Where are you watching from? And more importantly, what are you building that's so valuable your enemies will want to join you? Remember, your success is the best revenge, but your character determines whether that revenge becomes redemption.